understanding though. It's just been life has happened.
You know,
life has happened of all time.
Yep.
I feel that so much. Like, did I show that big one that I did in here? I think I did. The one that I fully colored and lighted it. It's like a club lighting with Val and 2 other characters.
You might have.
I think
it's been a while.
But like, so
if you did, it's been a while. Yeah.
Yeah, that one took me over a year.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And I have a friend who's also been waiting on a commission for like a year.
Yeah.
But
see, that's my biggest fear with taking commissions again. And like, I've never not been timely. And I mean like timely as in, if I say it's going to be done in a month, it's going to be done in a month. If I say it's going to be done in 3, it's going to be done in 3. And if I can't get it done, then like, I'll like explicitly tell somebody. And of course, like, we all know how model horse people are when you don't like get something done right away. Right. Like that's
right.
Not that I'm like explicitly concerned about that kind of thing, but it's always a possibility. You know, but I'm like so concerned a lot of the time about opening up commissions, because a part of me is like, okay, well, you don't want to get yourself stressed out again, and you don't want to take on much more than you can handle, you know? So what can you handle is kind of my like that's where I'm at right now is how much can I do? Yeah.
See, that's why what I had to do with, that's why I only opened like sketch commissions.
Yes.
Because it's something I honestly enjoy doing, and it's something that they take me 2 to 3 weeks a piece, depending on, because you know, with work and everything.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm usually pretty good about getting things done in a timely manner. Is the thing, even for like big stuff. It's literally just that life happened, and my brain got kind of like shut down about drawing for a good couple months.
Yeah.
And also, I probably also having undiagnosed ADHD most likely probably doesn't help.
Yeah, I think like at least 90% of us in this group are either diagnosed or undiagnosed ADHD.
Yeah, I mean, like, well, for me, like, so basically, like, in the past like year and a half or 2 years now, I've had like a bunch of like self-discovery, and there was a time where I wondered if I was bipolar or something, because my emotions were so up and down.
Yeah.
But I actually, through therapy and everything, found out that I am an HSP.
Okay.
Which I don't know if you guys know what that is. It's basically it's a highly sensitive person. It's a real personality type. So basically what you guys feel as emotions, like if a situation makes you happy, well, when it makes me happy, it's like 10 times what you feel.
Okay.
So it's like more intense. How do I put this? Like, I'm more sensitive to like stimuli, so like loud noises, crowds. I get burnt out really fast because my brain is constantly noticing everything around me all the time. So
which is
stuff
exhausting.
Like that.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my God.
Like, please
but like,
be quiet for 2 minutes.
Well, like, that's why I have to have headphones in. That's why I'm so glad I can have my headphones in, because it helps me focus better.
Yep.
But still, if people are moving around me at all, I get distracted.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've actually found that people who are HSPs have more neurons.
Oh, interesting.
More active neurons in the decision-making part of the brain.
Okay.
So yeah, it's really interesting. It was only started to be thoroughly studied in the early 90s.
Okay.
So it's still fairly new, but it's basically, and they consider it like an adaptation, like Darwinism, basically.
Which makes sense. I
Um,
mean, like, you know,
right.
needing to be highly vigilant all the time. Like,
Right.
there's definitely a need for that, or at least there was at one
Right. Well,
point, you know?
not just that, like not just high vigilance, but I'm HSPs are super empathetic,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
super like yeah, all the emotions are
Yeah.
like I said, more intense.
Yeah.
So like when I get excited about something, I get stupid excited over something so small. Like to the point where, let me put it to you this way: have you ever been so excited or happy that it made you feel dizzy?
No.
Yeah, well, I have.
Oh my goodness.
Like it wears me out that much that it
Yeah.
just like where I'm like, I mean,
Huh.
and of course it has its good and bad sides, but like,
Right.
but yeah, so it's really cool because, as an HSP, like again with the up and down emotions, you honestly, genuinely feel like you're going crazy,
Mm-hmm.
but it actually is just that me personally, I was burning myself out, and instead of taking time away and taking the time I needed, I kept pushing.
Mm-hmm.
So like the emotional side of me, so which is like your child self, was throwing a fit.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah. Well, I see.
Yeah.
I see we got some people in the chat. Also, hi, Katie.
Hi.
Today was a good horse day. The Morgans were the Star Stable Morgans were spoiled on YouTube, and then we also got another Briarfest special run, which is actually pretty darn nice. I like it.
Same.
Do we want to start with? Maybe let's start with the Briarfest SR, just because I know like Batsy's gonna want to contribute on the Morgan part of it, and I don't feel like we're gonna have too much to say about the SR right now. But I feel okay. So I really like it. I think that the color is washed out because Briar always takes their photos with that darn flash, and it's probably on a white background. So
yeah,
he's like got to be crazy washed out.
Right.
I think that this is going to be the mane and tail split. It's the only one that makes sense. It's the only one that has a variation in that manner. Like Animar is probably going to be the gloss matte split as of this point. Unless something else comes out that's probably like a little bit older mold. Because like Stein could have easily been the matte gloss split, but I think newer mold kind of made them go, well, let's just leave it, you know?
Right.
But yeah, I don't know.
I don't honestly like. I don't think it'll be a mane and tail split, and the only reason why I say that is because they've already used the braided version in the Bollywood.
Oh yeah,
so
and
Bollywood was surprised they used it as Bahana,
the India year.
Yeah,
and
it.
Yeah,
but yeah, so I have the feeling that because I questioned, I was like, why are they using this mold again? I'm like, I guess they're treating the different mane styles as a whole new mold now, since they haven't used the loose mane version yet.
Well, my thought is, I mean, I think we're kind of getting to the point where everybody's starting to realize that Heather is an absolute wild card. And Heather's designs and like the stuff that she plans for these events seems to be more on theme than anybody else that's been planning Briarfest runs before her. And and other than the art year, like last year had a lot of Summers designs, had a lot of Summer Prosser's paintwork. 2021 was mainly Heather. And so now we're starting to see another year that is mainly Heather, and with how well the art year went, the Horse of a Different Color year went, I think it's pretty safe to say that Briar's like, okay, you make us money, do whatever you need to do. And the reason why I say that is because that's pretty much the leeway that I was given when I was doing designs for Stone, is like, okay,
Right.
Emma, you've made us money. Do what you got, like make what you gotta make. And
Do what you gotta do.
yeah, so Heather's kind of with that creative liberty. I think she's like, instead of trying to follow the arbitrary non-patterns that hobbyists like to make, because our brains love patterns, admittedly, like when we started predicting all the Briarfest stuff, I thought Shenandoah would likely be a portrait horse again, just because like, oh, I don't know, after 2017 I don't think they're going to use it again. So yeah, that was my first thought. And then yesterday we got the reveal that they're using the teak again, and it's only been 2 years.
Right, that's true.
So that's my thought, is because not only is it they're presenting us with the loose mane first, because they don't want people to go, oh, well, you're just doing that again after the India year. Right. I really do think it's going to be a mane and tail split. If it's not, then it's not, because initially my first thought was glossy matte, and then I realized that there's 2 different Shenandoahs, and I went, oh yeah, that's right.
Right. No, I completely get it.
Yeah, but it would be kind of interesting, and I think it would make people mad, but I also I love the chaos of it. Is part of me wanted to see Shenandoah as a surprise, because I wanted to be mane split and gloss split. So
yeah,
if Heather were cruel and wanted to see how much chaos she could cause, it would be a 50-50 matte gloss split, but among those matte and glosses would be 50-50 mane and tail split. So you'd basically end up with a quarter glossy braided, a quarter glossy long, quarter matte long, quarter matte braided.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see. Nothing's off the table at this point.
Right.
I mean, real quick, wanted to rock with something completely. I know this group has a lot of criticisms with the Morgan spoiler, but I will give, at the very least, someone walked by on what is the current Morgan, and regardless of our criticisms, what an objective improvement! My God. Anyways, continue with the more stuff. I just wanted to say that because I saw someone walking on the blonde one in the
I have
pink,
that
and I'm
one. It's buried in my barn.
God, what an ugly thing! What an ugly thing!
Yeah, the poor old Morgan.
But as far as that's really all I had to say on that. Other than I see Katie agreeing with me that my wallet's really glad the Shenandoah isn't the surprise, because that was my other thought. Is I'm like, it's either going to be Shenandoah or it's going to be Hamilton, and both are going to ruin my wallet. And I am also a little upset that we haven't seen Hamilton yet.
Right, I'm banking on Hamilton being the surprise.
I'm going to be so mad. Oh, somebody asked, are we going to see Old Timer? What are your thoughts? I 100%, I want to see Old Timer so bad.
Old Timer was the one you showed me in the little hat,
yes,
right?
with the hat, yeah.
Oh,
so
please.
I don't know what we're up to as far as special run numbers go yet, as far as because isn't it normally 9? I think it's been 9 the past few years. And we don't have the token vintage yet. At this point, I'm not counting Brighty, and I'm not counting Lady Phase. Just because I feel like one's the Mare and full set, and then Brighty, I also really hope that Brighty's not the other animal. That would be such a waste, because I love Brighty a lot, but it would be such a waste. Okay, so we're up to 7 today. Thank you, Drea. Yeah. Okay, so if we're at 2 more, then we're probably missing a vintage, a specifically vintage one, because Lady Phase I feel is one that a lot of people don't necessarily lump in with the vintage category because it's so popular. And her overall look and sculpture, she's pretty. She's newer. I think she's pretty I almost don't even I almost want to say timeless, because in a sense, because she's not. I don't feel like she's ever going to necessarily go out of style. they're never
right. I think she'll always stand up against the other, against all the new ones.
Because she's just a really nicely put together, like, even though the mold is not necessarily my cup of tea, I had one for a while and I liked it, and I just recently sold it.
Nice.
But I like how she's put together. Very nice stock horse. And I don't know if they were trying to not replace her, but like, God, I can't even think of the word right now, but with Morgan's standing stock horse mare, Firefly. Like, I don't know if that was supposed to be an update or not, but it didn't really go over as well as people maybe anticipated it was going to.
Right.
But yeah, so at this point, we're missing our token vintage and our token other animal. And I'm, if Old Timer doesn't get used, I really think people will riot. I really do.
Well, you know what would be a funny other animal thing? That just hit me. Sled dogs, because the whole thing is driving and whatnot. And what's the other very popular animal for like driving sports?
Dogs.
Puppy. What the dog do?
What the dog do? Briar doesn't have they don't have a lot of dog molds that are like usable from what I remember. They've used the Saint Bernard a couple times in relation to like actually as a Briarfest special run. And my thought is that kind of knowing how Heather's brain works and seeing the rest of the clues that we've been given for other models, I'm still clinging on to hope that we're going to see a moose. That might be the zebra, I'd also like to see a zebra. The zebra might be a little bit of a long shot, but also I kind of like how Briarfest is getting to the point where we're kind of getting like Comic-Con-y vibes with different exclusives as far as you have your different price points, even in the ticketed special runs, because now we're looking at some are 60, some are 65, couple are 75 now. And then the surprise is 85. And if they want to start offering more complex things like the teak decorator at 75 or higher, I would not be opposed to them being like, oh, here's like a really complex Appaloosa, or here's a zebra, and it's 115 or it's 135 or something like that. I'm like, okay.
Right.
Yeah, maybe not everybody would, but I would that'd be something that I'd consider buying because it's a little bit more showable, maybe not connoisseur quality, but maybe like something Premier Club quality.
Right.
Yeah.
But I do want to say, you bringing up the point that you noticed that Briar doesn't have many dog models. Now, personally speaking, obviously, I don't know how much it costs to make a model for mass production. But if I was in theory some guy working on a company like Briar, and I knew my paying customer base consisted of collectors. Personally, and knowing that we don't have many dog models and maybe huskies or Malamutes, I go what would be a very good exclusive to bring to my collector's Comic Con that has a high emphasis on very special models that you're not going to get anywhere else.
Right.
Well, like a one of a kind animal model that you can only get at the con. People would go crazy for that.
They have in the past,
of course, some model sucks.
Well, I mean, we've got
there's
we may not have
there's
we
the
have
Saint
some
Bernard for sure.
Molds.
Yeah, and actually, when we're talking about the animal molds, and this is weird, is there's companion animals, which there are actually quite a few. There's like a lab and a Great Dane, and I think there's
there's an Irish setter.
So there's some of those, and those
corgi.
are the corgi that are in scale to the big horses. But the animals that they tend to use for Briarfest are the ones that are
The
like
giant ones?
almost 1/6 scale, they've got to be close to 1/6 scale. At least the dog, the Saint Bernard has got to be.
Is.
The moose, I think, is in scale, and the elk.
Mm-hmm.
But the rest of them are kind of iffy in that regard.
Yeah.
You got a list, Ashley?
Well,
Or are you looking at Identify Your Briar? Or?
No, I'm just like thinking over like the
Okay.
sizes when I've seen them.
Yeah.
So like the the white-tailed deer and things like that. Those are I think 1.9.
Mm-hmm.
But then you've got like God, was it the bighorn sheep? That thing's a little big.
Yeah.
So that's probably closer to 1/6. Then you've got what else? The pig. I think is there a pig? Do we have a pig?
Yeah, there's a pig. Yep.
Okay, I
The
think it's
market
kind of big
hog.
as well. Yeah.
Yeah. All I know is I do not want a goddamn cow this year. Not again.
Wizardly Chipmunk says I could see if they did something similar to the gummy bears, do a 3 or 4 set of a dog mold that is smaller. Also, hello, Poppy Pop.
That's a really, really good idea, Maria. Like, honestly, that'd be very cool.
Yeah, I mean, they've got the I think they've used like a couple of the dog molds as like different breeds.
Yeah.
Or like, you've got the lab, they could do a set of 3 of the chocolate, black, and yellow lab, or something like that.
I miss granted, I kind of started attending Briarfest on the tail end of the years where they would offer special runs that weren't just traditional horses. So like in 2010, the first year I went, you had like a selection of traditional horses, and then they always had a porcelain. And that was a thing. Like, I think it ended in, 2013, or no, 2011, whatever the fairy tale year was. I think it was 2011.
Yeah, 2011.
I think that was the last year that they did the porcelain thing, because it was that porcelain unicorn. And I don't remember them doing anything after that. But they used to have, like, it wouldn't just be traditionals. They'd have a porcelain in there. They'd toss, like, sets in there, keychains and stuff like that. So, like, I understand that some of that stuff has moved to the different shop. Like, now that there's the pop-up shop, there's, like, other smaller things over there. And then your ticket special runs are reserved for like your traditional size stuff. So I don't know, the superheroes year, which actually I'm still mad about that theme, but I won't get into that right now. I really wish that they would have had like a traditional scale, not the big Saint Bernard, but the traditional scale lab in like the rescue gear.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
And then like have a search and rescue set that's in the pop-up store. But I think Briar is kind of stuck in the mindset that people only buy the horses. I mean, that's why the other animal run is usually so low. I mean, like, I think it was 800 last year. I think it's been 800 the past couple of years. And they don't even hardly sell out. But it's hard to say, because I think they've been increasing in popularity lately.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like, honestly, I think one of the biggest, at least for me personally, I would collect the animals if they were in scale. The fact that they're out of scale bothers the crud out of me. Yep,
me too. The other part that I kind of like, that makes me not buy like the other animals all that often, unless they're a smaller scale, is, and I hate to get into the habit of, and I used to be really like this all the time, is if I can't show it, then it doesn't come home with me. That used to be like the philosophy, and I'm okay with that when it comes to horses now. Now I'm like, I don't care if I'll ever show it. Mine, like, yoink. But I think with the other animals, because they're so big, like, they take up a lot of space that I could be using for other horses, like horses.
Right. Right.
And that's kind of like, that's kind of where I'm at. It's the same thing with decorators. Is I love decorators. I have a huge passion for decorators, but not only am I picky, I don't encounter a lot of like places that I could show off the ones I have.
Right.
Yeah. Also, just adds up, look at the end to the racetrack because that's about to start according to the times, and I would like to do that survey.
Oh, and I forgot about that.
And it looks like they actually cut down when championships are happening significantly.
No,
it looks like the last one is going to be at 9.
No,
unless I'm misreading the championship schedule, which I probably am. I'm not used to reading the one that's available on High Scores.
No, I think I don't think they changed it. 2100 is 10 o'clock.
It would be 9.
Or is it 9? Okay. So they did. So they did cut it down a little bit because they used to have it at like.
Wait, no. There's nothing happening at the racetrack. Hello?
What time? Do you think they're all messed up right now?
They might be. Because there is no countdown at the racetrack, but it says it's 28 right now, and that there is a racetrack race on Wednesday at 20:30.
I did not get any notification. I'm coming here anyway just to see. Yeah. Also, really good thought in the chat here is, and I didn't catch this, says when they posted photos of driving forward in November, they showed a photo of a therapeutic driving horse. I'm betting the old timer will be a portrait of a therapeutic driving horse.
Oh,
that would be so much fun.
Sweet.
I'm not a model horse collector, but I swear to God, I would get into it for old timer.
I say, Batsy, there's plenty of us going. If you want, somebody might be able to pick you up an old timer if there is one.
I'd be grateful. I don't know if I go because I can't really afford to transport myself at the moment, and my folks are generally still just very nervous about meeting people online in real life.
Sure,
I'm not. You're all your vibes are awesome.
No way. Side note.
No, you're good. You're good.
Side note. I'm sitting here looking at the 2 new walkers. They must be using the new shader on them because they have some beautiful highlights.
Are those at Starshine?
Uh-huh.
Okay. I am just running around like a madman right now. I have nothing to do, so I'm not really doing
like much. in their flank and girth area, they're highlighted, and it's so pretty.
Oh yeah, that might be a good thing to show on stream while we're waiting for the next championship, because I imagine you want to showcase what the survey is.
I'd love to. I want to see what's on it.
I want to see what's on it too. I'm a nosy little freak.
I forgot that they were even doing that. So yeah.
Yeah, that was honestly the big part of today's update to me. Especially because they said, "Hey, this is the first time we're doing this," and on top of being about championships, we're trying to see if in-game surveys even work.
Oh, perfect! Yeah.
And I remember them saying in the announcement that if the survey gets a lot of reception, they're going to they're going to adapt it to multiple languages. It's only in English right now.
Oh, good.
And they're going to have it set as precedent, but of course only if it gets actual reception and people go, ew.
So that means, if it's in the results window, that means we can still fast get out of champs because we always get the results window. Okay. I was like, God, if I have to sit and wait through a champ ending.
No, it's optional according to the news post. You access the survey by clicking OK.
Perfect.
In the results.
All right.
Another side note about the new colored walkers, the bay one. Mm-hmm. This is somebody that's worked with this breed. It could double as a standard bred. It looks just like it.
I was gonna say they do kind of have that standard breedy look, that the kind of it's like the sleepy, lanky.
Yeah, well, like, yeah, they're in the way they hold their head. They have kind of
Yeah.
like a little bit of that U-neck going on, just a little.
Yeah.
But like, and just their headset on their neck and yeah, they look so standard ready. It looks just like a standard ready I used to work with.
See, and I think that's so charming that they do that with certain breeds. Like, and I guess we can segue into talking about the Morgan now, because there are certain hallmarks in the Morgan that I'm a little disappointed that they didn't add, because it almost feels like whoever did the model on this one was kind of going for like in between the show and the stocky type Morgans, and I don't think it was successful. I think they should have just picked one.
So I have a couple. So like I said, I like the neck thickness. They've given this horse a bull neck basically, and I'm okay with that, like conformationally wise. But in the head itself, the shape from the side is fine.
Yeah,
but,
from the side, it's it looks nice. Yeah,
but then and then you've got, so you see it from the front, their eyes are way too far apart.
Yes.
The legs, like I said, from the knee up is shorter than the knee down.
Yeah. Something now that you say that. Oh.
and then also like I shared the screenshot in the server, they're bending above the knee, not in the center of the knee like they're supposed to. And
right.
So that's messing it up.
That's the same thing that the Frisians do, and it gives them. That's when you said that earlier. I looked at it again, and I'm like, they're bending at a right angle. They did that so that it looks like it's bending at a 90-degree angle, and that's exactly the same thing that the Frisians do. But because Frisians in general have snappier movements,
knees,
it's not as it's more like
it's not as uncharacteristic.
Yes, exactly.
If you're guys saying that, do you think the Morgan might have been modeled by the fellow that did the Norfolk Frisian?
Probably.
Potentially, yeah. I mean, some of the animation hallmarks are there.
I gotta say, animation wise, like, okay, so I know they're a little stiff because the head does not move at all. It only moves very slightly, which is a little unrealistic. I mean, they're gonna have some movement in the head, but
right.
But then like from the neck back moves just fine. But like, so the animation itself from step to step is super smooth. And I'm, impressed by that. But, and also the fact that they even animated the skin where the hind leg meets the belly. It's not just clipping through anymore. It's actually, stretching and contracting.
Right. Yeah,
and
they've been actually
loving that.
Sorry.
You're fine.
Yeah, I've noticed they've been doing that with at least the past couple models over the year. You can notice that it's just that for the Belgian warm blood, it looks like there was like a flipping error in the front legs.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yikes. But I will say too that the tail, like, it does, even though it's the same person that does that weird tail animation copying realism rather than actually how the tail moves, that didn't make any sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The person who copies how it moves in videos rather than how it actually moves.
Right.
It's not that bad. I gotta say, I'm really impressed with the flow with the tail flick where it goes up and back down. The tail looks a little weird, but then again, with Morgans, their tails are kind of weird because even though people like to keep their tails nice, Morgans tend to tear their tails a lot, so they have a lot of short hair at the top.
Yeah. I kind of like the only major critique I have of the Morgans at this point. I think there's like three things is, like, I don't mind that they're crusty in the neck. And I don't mind that the neck is thick because, like, that's just how Morgans are. If it was just a touch longer, though, just a smidge, because it feels like it's out of proportion. Like, if you sit down, and I've done horse judging for years, and like it's been drilled into me, is horses are pretty much you can divide them up basically into thirds and make them like a trapezoid. And so I think if that neck was just a touch longer, it wouldn't be throwing me off, because the body is really, really nicely proportioned and the muscles are nice, and the actual like model itself is very nice. It's just, ooh, that neck. just a little teeny bit. And then
I think they were trying to sidebar on that. I think they were trying to capture. So you know how Star Stable tends to have issues with the horses having heads that are smaller than the body?
Yeah.
I feel like that rather than actually make the head bigger, they made the neck shorter to create that illusion that the head is actually bigger than it is. because and I say this because when you look at the Morgan without the rider in the tack, he looks fine. But as soon as the rider sits on it, I'm like, that is a tiny horse. Like, and I'm not talking like height wise, I'm talking like just build wise. His head all of a sudden shrunk.
Yeah. Huh. I didn't even think about that. No. Oh my god, my game crashed.
No.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Well, and I guess while we're waiting, Katie said, I think they're okay, but they don't have much charm to them. To me, I'm not sure why. They just feel like a pixel horse with that much character. And actually, that is my only criticism. That is the only criticism I can personally comprehend with the Morgans, because I'm very bad at like pointing out all those animation flaws myself. But I noticed that all of their idols are just very generic horse animations, like grazing, stomp, doing that little back foot stomp, and then grooming their leg. It's all, and then a couple head shakes. And I think that's more noticeable because we've been getting a lot of horses in the recent models that have tons of personality. You get like the sleepy, quiet walker. You get the I have to go or I'm going to explode Belgian. You get the sleepy, gentle giant Shire.
Yep.
You get all the personality in the new Magic Horse designs. It just kind of stands out with them having animations that's just like, oh, any horse would do this. Any horse would graze or groom their leg, which is the part that I... Oh, sorry.
No, I was just like going off of like using that as a springboard. I don't understand why they are taking horses that have like very, very specific and recognizable show ring stances and not putting that in their idol.
Right, like I would at least like to see the Morgan stretch out, like just to stretch,
like just even park out a little bit, just a little bit. Like maybe it's something that they do that they just, because I've seen real Morgans do it, is like just have them like maybe they stretch and they shove their front feet out real far and they stretch up, and then maybe they do it the other way and they stretch back.
Big stretch.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we have I know the Frisian does that. Maybe that's why maybe that's why they went away from the stretch with that, but I still would like to have seen it because, again, like you said, they park out naturally sometimes. And, one thing that I would have really liked to have seen is, so you know how they have them toss their head, rather than have a horse toss their head like up and down, I'd rather see them like nod their head. You know how horses like to play with the bit in their mouth? Oh my
god, yeah.
Like, I'd love to see them do that. Like, just as like after a while, like later in the idle animation, if you're standing there a minute, they're like bored, so they start nodding their head.
Oh my god, my idiot does this. He does this stupid head bob, like, and I'm sure you've seen it, Ashley, where like there's it's because he's either bored or he wants your attention, and it's just an endless like yes. It's just over and over again. I'm like, I want that included.
Right.
Like you mentioned that, and because I read the personality description that you get when you're like buying the Morgans, at least the one they have is a game file. And I feel like that as an idol would really match how SSO portrays them as like very cheery and charismatic horses.
Right.
But it's like, I would want to see that. Like,
yeah. As of right now, they're very blah. The only thing that like is a kind of a redeeming quality for me is their dance is super cute.
Yes.
And it's like, when do you ever see that?
I will say,
when you're dancing on the dance floor and that's it.
Right. Yeah.
I will say also, I do like their break animation because you can see their eyes widening when they come to a stop. Like, whoa! And that was a good touch.
Well, and one other thing I wanted to mention too,
sure.
when you mentioned about the neck length there, Emma.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think a lot of it too. The reason why I want to wait to see them in game is because, so I appreciate CC's videos like immensely, but the camera angle.
Oh,
it's
yes,
too low.
they're horrible.
It's too far behind the horse.
Yep.
So it really distorts the look of the horse. And like, here, I'll show you.
No, I totally see that, because that was the same problem that I was having with the Belgian Warmblood when they came out in like that CC put out a video for the Belgian Warmblood. I could not stand them at first because there was something about that camera angle, and I had to remind myself that, okay, that's just how they filmed their videos. It's at a low camera angle. Oh no!
Right.
Goodbye.
Yeah, you can see me. Stop.
I see you.
All right, so
I
let's
see
if I
you.
can... There
so
we go.
yeah,
okay, so I just
deceiving.
took this. I took this screenshot. Like, that looks like a nice horse right there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just the way. I mean, but again, I really think the neck looks shorter too, because if you look at the feet, they're CC's a little bit behind the horse.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I mean, I don't know. I'm really gonna have to see them in game. I gotta say though, the shading on the coats though.
Oh, the shading,
is beautiful.
The coats are lovely. And before I get on to, because I know we definitely have some positive stuff to say about the Morgans. This isn't just like a we trash the Morgans kind of night, but I do want to mention the one thing that I think all of us agreed on is that, like, and I know we talked about the, like, where they rigged the knees to bend and everything, but I'm even willing to, like, overlook that. But the one thing that I, like, cannot get over is the back legs. It looks like they're dragging.
So these hind legs on them, so if you look at the horse when it's moving, that hind end is higher than those withers, or is even with. And since the front end is so low, those back legs are long.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely funky. Like, yeah, I don't know how to feel about that for sure.
You know, although I've got a screenshot for you. Like, I just took this, and it almost looks like. What resin does this remind you of?
Oh, yep. It looks
it's
like
also
Nightly Cadence. Looks like Nightly Cadence.
It does.
Absolutely, yeah.
I mean, at least that's consistent.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know but yeah, and I do see a little head bob in the walk, but like but then in the trot the head goes really still, and I think that kind of throws us off a little bit too, because it's like the rest of the body's moving and the head is just like floating in space.
Now, granted, I would never be able to identify a Morgan unless it had the long tail, because that's what Google would just show me, and I think it was funny. I think it was funny. But could it be that Morgans also just kind of have like really fucked up proportions a little bit?
Yes.
Or am I wrong?
No,
yes,
you're
kind
right.
of. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
And it's part of the charm.
It is,
and I kind of think that maybe that's what the Star Stable ones are lacking a little bit. Like, I know we're talking about how weird their proportions are, but I don't think they're weird in the Morgan weird way. Like,
right.
I think that they easily could have gotten away with, and maybe Ashley, if you want to find one of these for reference for Batsy, is like the Spellbound resin.
Ooh,
where they've got like a thick neck and a more upright posture and a tiny head and like big, like they got like big shoulders and like tiny hindquarters.
One thing that's interesting is that Spellbound really doesn't have that tiny of a head. It's just the way he's like puffing out the front of his neck. Okay. His head is really quite proportionate to his neck. It's just the way he's holding his head.
Okay. I guess I've never actually seen one in person, so all I've seen are the photos, so I can totally, like, now that you say that. Also, hi, Courtney. We're talking about the Morgans.
Hi. We are. Let me find a good picture that's not from Equine Resin Directory because,
Again, I think
tiny pictures. Oh, wait, there we go.
I think my unpopular opinion is that I don't mind how far their eyes are apart. I have this weird thing where like certain shapes are like stimulating for me. It's like a stim.
Okay.
Oh yeah. These are just like freak animals.
Okay, so like,
got it.
No, but look at look at Spellbound compared to the screenshot I just sent you. Look at the back.
Yeah.
The back actually does come up, so we'll give him credit for that.
All right.
The shoulder does look like it. The shoulder and chest look right. But again, like you mentioned, the neck could be just a tiny bit longer. Like even just a touch.
I'm going to just for the sake of stream. Can I show YouTube videos on stream? Can I like go back and like look at YouTube videos on stream?
I would not know.
You should be able to. I mean, if you're streaming from your screen itself, probably.
I mean, like as far as like copyright wise, is that a thing I can do? I think it is.
I guess if you're not.
Oh yeah, YouTube's fine.
I guess
it's not like you have to subscribe to it.
Yeah.
Right.
And I guess if you're not like streaming something like clips from Spider-Verse or something.
Oh sure.
Here, Bassy, here's an example of the frontal view of that, so you can see how far apart the eyes are here versus like the Morgan we have.
Yeah, they've got like kind of like narrow heads. I've never seen that angle of Spellbound.
Dude, I love him. I love
him. He's so cute. Okay, all right. So SSO Secrets has actually put a better video up of the Morgans. If you guys do want to look at this with me, it's definitely a better video.
I'm looking at. See, that's the first thing I see of those darn eyes.
Okay, so
here's another angle if you want to see. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So even if they wanted to keep the eyes that far apart, see, honestly, I think. See, looking at this picture on the video you just shared, just the preview picture.
Yeah,
the eyes are facing. They're facing forward too much. Like, like they need to pull them to the side. They're prey animals, not predators.
Oh no!
Yeah, that's the thing. That's my criticism of the eyes. Eyes. The Star Stable stylized eyes that are not like prey animal eyes, but are like human eyes. A little bit. Yeah. Don't sync up well as is. I think it would be fine if they just adjusted the way the eyes were looking a little bit.
Right. Well, because right now they kind of look kind of froggy.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. They're staring off in different directions.
Okay, so I'm just like, I'm sure people on stream find this annoying that I'm like stopping starting this video over.
No, we have to analyze.
You know what? You all can see what we're talking about.
Okay. So they're definitely like and then I'm gonna.
Okay, so looking at their legs are
kind of messed up.
They're long,
but okay. I'm like looking back, like I'm looking at the video, and then I'm kind of looking at Spellbound, just so that I kind of have like a frame of reference for Morgan. Their neck is definitely too short, but also looking at them from like the 3/4 perspective. It's not actually that bad. And I think it's worse when, like, for some reason, I think it's worse on the main side.
So, Emma, I just realized something. I think I realized something else that's bugging us about the neck that we're not realizing right off the bat. Okay, so if you look at it from the side, look where the neck connects to the head. It connects behind the jaw instead of between the jaw.
Oh God, this horse has no throat latch.
Yep. That's why the neck looks too short, because of the way they're the head's set on there. It's like constantly like what is it? Not roll curling, but like as if you were pulling the head back, and it's like God.
I noticed that during the gates, the Morgan keeps its head tucked in.
Like the jaw flat. Yeah, like the jaw is flat against the neck. and
There's
that
also
it should not be that way.
There is zero definition between the neck and shoulder. Like, they.
Yeah.
Okay. And this is.
Although I will
like,
give credit. I will give
trying
quick
to tear
credit
apart
though.
people's work.
No. But like, I will give quick credit though, because like I do like that when they shake their head. If you look on the non-main side, when they shake their heads at the top of the crest moves. I'm happy with that.
Nice. Okay, so I'll wait until this. All right. Ooh. Yeah. So they basically like. You're right. They pretty much don't have much of a throat latch. There's no like actual tie-in from the jaw to the neck. It's behind the jaw, so it's a little bit too weird. Yeah.
It doesn't connect right.
And then where the neck ties into the chest, they tie in too high. It ties in too high. Like I might actually at one point during stream here in a little bit, it might take me a little bit to get this like situated, but I kind of want to take a screenshot and then like move it over to Clip Studio and draw on top of it.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
But no, I'm just kind of like looking.
Well, like, so like it looks like looking at these models, it looks like the neck is unfinished. It looks like they just connected a tube from the shoulder to the head, and that was it. Like you said, there's no definition in there.
Larry's here. Larry.
If you haven't done the survey yet, Golden Hills Championship is hitting at 9.
Okay.
Why did I phrase it like that? That is the weirdest possible way I could have said it.
I'll switch back to that, and I'll switch back to the game in a little bit. Somebody warned me. Okay, another thing I'm noticing here, and it's way more visible. Are we talking about the Morgans? Yep. Yeah.
So are you saying Emma?
It's okay, so this is way more visible on a lighter color than the darker color. I just pulled up the Carmelo. You can 100% see the frog eyes on the Carmelo. Their forehead is just way too wide, and I know we talked about that, but their ears are too tiny.
They are. Oh my god!
Like they're really tiny.
Also, with the way the head is set, again, this is back to how the head is set on the neck. Because of the way that's set, those ears are going far too forward.
Yes. Okay. But they're going far too. But they're actually like I think they're set back further than they need to be. As far as like they're positioned on the neck, because when horses so the muscle that goes up from the jaw
should go to the ear, right?
Exactly. Yep. The muscle that goes up from the back of the jaw into like up to the ear is actually directly at the back of the ear. So the back of the ear should sit in line with the jaw. It's the same thing on like it's kind of the same thing on people. Like if you feel your ear down to your jaw, it's in that same spot. I also have purple thing with me, so I'll kind of like on purple thing in front of the camera is if I can show it is like see how there's like kind of a line from the back of the ear down to the jaw. When you're drawing a horse, that's like where it should come up, is you can just make like one smooth stroke, and that's exactly where you start your ear.
That might be what's throwing us off too.
The tiny ears are definitely a lot now that I'm looking at it.
And also looking at the Carmelo again, where it's over the neck, joins into the chest. There's no like, how do I put this? It's completely like a bubble from the base of the neck to into the chest. Like there's nothing. There's no definition. There's nothing to suggest it goes into the chest. It's
right. The shoulder is not defined in a way that I think it should be, because the shoulder looks like it's just an extension of the chest.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna hop back into the game.
Gotta say,
you can meet Archie.
Yes, I'm coming to Golden Hills. I'm at Starshine right now.
My only concern
you were
with
Starshine?
My only concern with labeling any part of the Morgan model finished is because, and correct me if SSO has a history of implementing stuff in the game files with textures already on them, and then goes back and edits the thing. But the fact that the Morgans already have the fully rendered textures on them makes me dubious that they're going to be changed between now and whenever they get released.
I think
they're not going to change it.
No, they're not going to change it. They might change some of the animations.
I was about to say,
it might be worked on, like the animations might be worked on, and that's why it's in the game. Because there's still got probably a month before these things come out. But as far as the model goes, I don't think that's changing.
I mean, honestly, I think though, I don't know, I could see them going and fixing some things because, you know, when they fully render it and load it into the game, it's to make sure everything works properly. And if they notice that things aren't working properly, they go back and fix it.
Right. But as far as like conformationally, I don't think like if it's in the game at this point, then I don't think that they're necessarily going to see that as being an issue. Like, I don't know what the process is there for us, like having that kind of stuff checked and who checks it and if they're horse people, because we've seen them make some pretty iffy decisions in the past when it comes to certain breeds. Like, I think the English thoroughbreds were a huge mistake. The Star Stable explicitly asked for people's opinions on the Frisian, and we're like, hey, what should we change? You want us to change things, and then like didn't change anything. So I think we're kind of at the point where if we're seeing it in spoilers, of course they have to say like, hey, look, this isn't the final product, because there is always a chance that Star Stable could pull it and change it. But it is likely that when it gets to that point, unless there's massive backlash from people, like massive backlash, they're not going to pull anything model wise and change it. Because animation wise, they have done that. Do you guys remember when the Marwaris came out and the special move was going to be the little dancey dance? And like a shit ton of people messaged Star Stable and were like, that's a boost, that's abuse, how could you, how could you? It's like, no.
That's so funny.
What did the Marwari do?
The little it used to do a dance in place, and they stopped, and like Emma they complained it was abuse because it technically is. People who train them like that, they make them dance like that for hours.
The you know that animation that they do when you actually like turn them instead of actually do you have a Marwari, Batsy?
I do not. I don't have. I think the only.
Okay.
No, I don't think I've bought any like non-magic horses.
Okay.
DC has a Mawari video if you want to.
Yeah, they changed it from like, because they still wanted to include it, and I don't blame them, because a lot of people were pissed when they took it away. But what they did is, instead of having it be their special move, they actually made it so that when you do like the left and right turn animation, see how our horses just like cross under? Like my horse just crosses over himself and does like a turn on the forehand. On the Marwari, they actually do that little dancey dance when you turn them.
I think I've seen that. I think I've seen people turn them and they do like a little dance.
Yeah.
That's so cute.
And their ears bounce a lot.
Yep. So that used to be their special move, and people cried abuse and got it changed. And like,
because it actually is, right?
Well, technically like there's different methods of teaching different things. Like you can call like asking a horse to go on the bit abuse depending on how somebody trains it, you know. So different methods, same result. So in theory, somebody could you could train it to do that without abuse. Yeah. Guys, they changed that shortcut in Golden Hills and it threw me off. They changed it. They've changed the shortcuts.
Where I've had the shortcuts are normal for me.
Well, the first shortcut still exists, but now there's a jump between you and that flag when you go.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Like, okay, so when you're doing that first shortcut and you go to the left when everybody else jumps over the thing, if you go straight from that, you used to just be able to jump over the like you used to be able to just jump down the hill and you'd hit the next flag. Now there's a huge cross-country fence between you and the flag, so you can't just go in a straight
Always
line.
been there.
Has it seriously?
They know.
Yeah, that thing always trips me up when I'm taking the turn towards the bridge.
Okay, then I've just never like run into it in that fashion before, because that felt like it was new to me.
Yeah, that little fence has always been there. That's always been part of the map.
Oh, wait a minute. So I'm looking at these names right now for the horses.
Yeah.
Okay, so right after purple, there's a name Purr.
Purple. Purple is another word for purple.
Really?
I have a horse. Her name is Purpuro.
Oh, Purpura.
That's one of my paints.
I didn't know that. I was like, what? I thought it was like a weird cat thing.
No.
Purpuro. I thought I like putting O after something, so I'm just like Purpuro.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Purpur is like it's like a different shade of purple of some kind.
Purpur. I love it.
Purpur. That'd be a cute just standalone thing. Like, this is Purpur.
Mm-hmm.
He's a
Don't
stallion.
forget to not exit out of the results fast quit so that you can do the survey.
Also, just as proof that it's about getting good, gamer talk. My level 1 horse finished 7th.
I'm so proud.
Thank you. I was 4th for the longest time.
I'm at 11th on my level 15 horse because he's so goddamn slow. I'm back to riding my Appy in case anybody was surprised by that.
I was not surprised, but I do think I'm gonna not do the Morgan. I think that's the first new horse breed that I'm gonna skip out on.
Okay.
I'm going to see it.
Survey!
I will not be getting it.
How often do you participate in championships? As often as I can.
As often as I can.
Why do you
I'd say
participate in championships?
sometimes.
For the reward and the XP. What do you like most? None of this.
I like the gameplay. I like the gameplay environment.
Yeah.
I guess that's the track.
What do you like least about the championships? What is
can
that? What is their
never
unfair?
win.
I do agree with that they're unfairly balanced because I feel like there's a lot of factors.
Yeah.
It's very easy to cheat.
Mhm.
Yes,
Mhm.
I wish they would stop that.
What should be the most important quality of a championship? That it's fair for everyone. That kind of
Yeah,
All
that's
right.
fair for everyone, or
Thanks.
it's the ultimate challenge.
yeah.
I did it
So
that it's
I'm
fair
gonna
for
do-
everyone.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that. It's fair for everyone as well, since that seems to be the most pressing issue with them.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, that was it. Okay.
is it like weird that am I the only one that wants for the championships to have barriers along the track so people can't?
Oh, that's a good
Yeah.
idea.
Like, as much as I think the shortcuts can be fun and add a little bit of challenge to things, there's a lot of them that are like, yeah, you really shouldn't be doing this, huh? So it would be
they're
nice to just eliminate them.
Or
That's
it's
how
just
I win,
unfair.
That's how I win.
Like the hay bales.
Well, you gotta
in
win the
Fort
old-fashioned way.
Pinta. I hate that. There's no way to get around them unless you know the glitch to get through the Fort Pinta hay
Mhm.
bales.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's dumb.
All right, I'm trying to get a decent side view. Okay, so it's gonna for everybody on stream. It's gonna look like my game has been paused for a hot second because
Now it's time to reanalyze Morgan's.
now it's time. All right, I think that's as good.
I
I think that's as good as I'm gonna get. All right, and of course I'm gonna have to turn down my screen dimmer so that I don't get like a crazy haze over my screenshot here. All right, hang tight, everybody. Emma's trying her best. I have
You're
to.
doing great.
I have to
If I had one
reconfigure.
complaint, about the Morgan's colors, I am upset that the silver one has no face marking and has 4 white socks. Makes no sense to me. I can't give it a lip spot or a snip for the love of God.
My
Literally
brain can't
unplayable.
comprehend.
Or at least make it just 1 sock or 2.
Yeah.
You don't need to do all 4.
Right.
And they're all the same.
Goddamn. Okay, I'm trying to figure out where to put Purple Thing. I'm gonna plug Purple Thing real quick. Purple Thing is for sale.
Purple thing.
Buy him.
Purple thing.
Take him home. I just re-glossed his
By
chest
the
today.
most
He's very
special
tiny.
boy in the world.
He's so special. He comes with his own custom pony pouch. It is also purple and some stickers. So
Yeah.
take Purple
I'll
Boy.
have
Hi,
hear you,
friend Emma.
Oh, sorry.
Get him out of my house.
He will not pay rent.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll pay rent in your house.
All right, new.
Also, Luri, how happy are you that you have Archie now?
I
Yeah.
have Archie. Look at Archie. Look at him spin. Look at him go. Whee! Whee!
Alrighty.
I'm just like, I waited since September 9th of 2021 for this horse.
It's definitely a very cute. It's definitely
It's
a very cute
cute.
horse. And it was very fun to look up chimera horses and immediately find, oh, this must be what they based the Finn horse on. This specific
Mhm.
image.
Yeah.
So I'm
I
gonna
had
grab.
to do the roach.
It's cute. I like it. I'm trying to
so
grab
flippin'.
like the kind of Morgan that I think that they might have been going for to like put that together, like put it in my drawing program here.
We're gonna Frankenstein some bitches.
We really are. I will also like stream this to the server as well so that you guys can like see it as opposed to having to go to Twitch to see it. I feel like that's
nice
the
of
way
you.
to go. Yeah. All right. Just setting up my program here. Trying to make sure that everything. Why? Sometimes I forget that I don't have like the uniform like transform thing turned on all the time. Okay.
I'm so happy I have my Baywalker.
Yay! All right.
Beautiful bay.
Turn down my brightness there, and
So I'm gonna
Alright.
also while you're setting up stream, I'm gonna take a minute to switch to mobile real quick since
Sure.
I do have class in the morning. So I'd like to start getting a little rest while I'm seeing this because I'm definitely interested. So just give me a second, I'll be right back.
yeah, no problem. And actually, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna log out of Star Stable just so that my computer doesn't have. It shouldn't throw a fit, but I don't want it to.
Right. Just in case, you know.
I got Clip Studio, OBS, Opera, and I'm streaming like so.
Yeah.
And Star Stable open. But I am now in Clip Studio. And let's see. I wonder if my dimmer. Okay, so if my dimmer does have an effect on stream. I didn't know if it was going to or not. I'm going to leave it at 15% so I don't go blind. I wish my screen dimmer didn't affect what you guys saw, but that's okay. I'm also going to switch my camera a little bit, so hello.
I love, Courtney, that your unicorn has the horn in the circle.
I know, right?
It's beautiful.
All right. I think I may have figured this out. I don't know where to like position the camera.
The horsey, your horsey, Courtney, has a heart on its right leg.
Yeah, on the shoulder.
Not on the shoulder, but like on the leg, at the bottom of the leg, on the little sock.
Okay.
It has 2 hearts. Oh my god. Horse is full of love.
You see Katie. It's just so odd to me that Morgans can be crusty and have some bulk, but certain elements on these are too small. Ears and areas are a bit too much. Maybe the jaw. Yeah,
Okay.
like
Ying,
I
ears.
honestly, I think if the eyes were fixed, also if they fix the eye width, if they should shrink the jaw in just a little bit too.
yeah.
Because the muzzle, or just make the muzzle bigger. There you go.
Wrong layer. I'm trying to figure out a good color to draw on top of this with. That's actually going to stand out. Maybe
What
like
color, Morgan, are you drawing on?
the Cremello. I figured it's the lightest.
Blue.
Okay, I'm gonna like also
light blue,
dim.
maybe?
Yeah, I'm
Baby blue.
gonna dim that layer a little bit.
Or purple. That'll work too.
All right, let's try it. Because I have my colors that I do like rough. Okay, purple might work. Purple seems to work pretty well.
So yeah, purple's coming out well.
Okay, so first of all, the jaw is actually lining up with the front of the ear, and it should be lining up with the back of the ear. So the second line that I drew, this one that I just put the little arrows on, that's where the ear actually should be. So it should like come out of here, and it should be bigger.
My drawing in real time. Oh boy.
Eyes feel like they're a little bit too, like, I don't even know if the eyes are necessarily too big. I think the eye size is fine, but they go too far
set
out.
Forward. They're set
Okay.
too far forward.
Yeah.
Like, because that's a side view of the Morgan, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, you should see the whole eye. The horse's eyes are on the side of their head.
Yeah, okay. All right, so I'm going to delete this layer. I'm going to do this as if I was like using this photo as a reference, but actually draw things where I normally draw them.
Sure.
This also, like, it's a side view. It's not a full side view because
I was about to say, yeah.
Because there's like a jaw under
jaw
there.
yeah.
It's like a 3/4 angle side view, it looks like.
It's like, this is as
A
much
little bit.
side
So
view as I could
weird.
get. Yeah, right?
That is so weird. The body's
Like,
like side, but
the
the
body
head
is-
is not.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that it might be in the middle of like a
Turned or something.
Yeah. They weren't standing still, so
They seldom do in this game.
yeah.
Okay,
So
so
I'm
see
just gonna
from the side,
pretend.
the muzzle side looks good. It's not muzzle
The
side,
cheek
it's not side.
cheek is almost too big.
Yeah.
And that could be because of like the fact that the head seems to be turned weird in this.
Let me
But
pull
the
up-
eyes should be back here.
Yeah.
Oh god, I'm drawing on that layer again. God damn it.
I do that all the time.
time.
Hold on.
Okay. All right. We had such a good start. We had such a good start too.
We did.
All right. All right. I'm going back in. This is much
the
better.
50th torture.
This is the third time I've started. All right. So, yeah. Okay. So let's say that in theory, like, this is the head shape. The cheek seems too big. Because this is like the eyes are, which would mean the eyes are too far forward.
Well, see, I'm looking at I'm looking at a Morgan picture, and like, I don't know.
Like this is pretty. I mean, it's pretty.
Oh yeah, they're just freaks.
Yeah, they're weird. This guy in my reference photo definitely has a bit more boxy.
I mean, yeah, his cheekbone's up there.
Yeah.
These clothes are just freaks.
So okay.
So like, if this is our cheekbone right here, it's just like, it's a thing where the eye should definitely be further, like, set further back. I think that's what's making the cheek look huge. It's because the eye is so far forward.
Well, that, and also look at where the neck joins the head. That's
Yes.
really high.
Yeah, like it's up here. Like it should actually
well, no,
be.
I mean like the top of the neck that goes between the ears.
Yeah.
Look how high. That's a big forehead.
Right. So
Yeah, the Morgan does have a Megamind forehead. At least
do.
the SSO for
They really
no
do.
bitches.
But yeah, like, so see, you just adding that little bit of throat laughter looks so much better.
Yes, like just a
There
little
should
like
be a connection there.
right. Like you can take the neck and go all the way up here.
Oh, I see too. The shoulder should be back a little bit. See, now that I see how you're see where the
Right.
shoulder line is, that
Yep.
should be like back.
Right. So this it
Like,
should be like
increase shoulder.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
it's
yeah.
up here.
Much better. He's fat.
He is
It's
fat.
like they tried to do a fat athletic horse. I don't.
All right, here's our shoulder muscle right here.
Because their shapes are very round. He looks fat. Like
Yes.
like in the game, I mean, like the game horse looks fat.
Right.
Playing around with this model's confirmation would be like a fun photo manipulation thing. I feel.
Oh yeah.
But now y'all got me curious because the people who animate and texture and model the horses are all the same people. So one person works on the horse, like Nomi does everything.
Right.
I'm curious now if you go back to this other person's model, what are you gonna find more inaccuracies?
Well, we were talking about this earlier, and you hadn't joined the stream yet.
No.
We were talking about the fact that the way that the legs are animated on this one are identical to the Frisian.
Yeah, where it ends at the wrong point.
Yeah, but it works on the Frisian because they're snappy movers. So the right angle bend actually looks fine, but on this, it's not good.
So it's the same person.
It's gotta be.
Yeah. But then
But then the Belgian Warmbloods, who are definitely by this person too, are really nice.
Well, I was about to say, like you said, all of the horse models are worked on by the same person.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so. There's too many stylistic differences.
Well, no, Nomi works on some, and then this other person works on some. But
what I'm saying is Nomi from start to finish, she models the horses, she textures them, and she animates them. So the other person also does that same pipeline of models the horse, textures the horse, and then animates the horse.
Right.
And usually that doesn't make sense to me in a production standpoint. I'm just like, why would you have one person do the whole thing? Like what?
Right. You need people to you need quality check. Like this isn't in the right spot.
There would be quality check, but also I'm like there would be people, the game director would be getting, art director, game director would be getting feedback on the horse because it's the biggest asset, selling point of the game. But there it's just one person doing it all. There should be one person modeling it, one person texturing it, and one person animating it. Honestly, but I don't know why they don't do that.
Right, and that's why.
How do we know that there's only 2 people on their entire horse art team?
It's true.
Yeah, there could be more, but we only know that 2 of them actually do the start to finish. Yeah, it has been confirmed in other Instagram posts and things like that too, where Nomi has stated that she does it start to finish.
Right. So the hunch is because there's there's pretty much 2 distinct styles of horses in this game. Ones that are more supposedly realistic, and then ones that are animated to a more aesthetically pleasing not cartoony, but more I suppose you could say more cartoony style. And
take advantage of the medium.
Yeah, exactly. And those are the ones that fit in with the game better than the realistic ones, in my opinion. Because the game itself has a cartoony flair.
Right.
Yeah. It's like, look at my little Finn horse. He's just moving his hair out of his face like, look, get out of my face. And it's like this personality thing. I'm just like, I want my horse to have personality. I want that cartoony aspect, so I'm not just like, hello, this is horse.
See, already, just what you've done with just the head and neck. The model looks so much better.
And that's not even changing the length of the neck.
Right, that's just pushing the shoulder back. Maybe that's what's making the neck look.
I think so. Because, and I'll go in on a different layer with a different color. This is where the shoulder starts on the actual model.
Yeesh.
like that's really high up, because the shoulder itself, and I'll ditch this now, is the shoulder itself should start at the top of the withers and be this angle. Because I know I was saying it earlier that horses are trapezoids. So then see this angle of the hip? Then you should have it come down this way.
Yeah.
There's your trapezoid. And then the back. And
right.
Yeah. And you could even make this smaller by like actually like, you know.
Right.
Yeah. But
like, you know, looking at your reference photo too that you've got up there, how that shoulder, I can see why they might have thought that the shoulder would be up that far.
Right.
Because look how straight that is from the point of the shoulder up.
Yes. Yeah.
So
this
like
fella has
a very straight shoulder.
But also it's a straight shoulder to an upright head. The whole horse is going like this. Whereas this guy,
he's parking.
Whereas this guy almost seems like he's definitely not up. Like he's definitely not uphill.
He's even.
He's relaxed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
The
trying
horse
to think
in
of
the real photo is fucking stance.
Well, no, I was just pointing that out because I can see where the mistake was. Maybe that they were looking at a lot of more that were parking out, and they're like, "Oh, the shoulder's supposed to be bubbly and rounded like that," and it's like, no, it looks like that because he's putting all his weight in his front end in those pictures that were for parking out.
So here's your rib cage. This actually, see, okay, so tying in the neck where I do, you can actually see, like, you can kind of feel it through where it comes into this part. But say I was to turn this off. Actually, no. What layer did I draw this on? Oh, god damn it. Okay.
Reference layer again.
Oh, yeah. All right.
It's fine.
So let's, for example, on this layer with the trapezoid here, look where this, in theory, ties in. Low. Like, the barrel would need to be bigger.
Yeah.
Because it's almost like they went like this. And made this big, and that's not necessarily like, yes, it should tie in where the neck does, but your neck, there's no difference between neck and shoulder. It's just all one.
Right.
Like, this is very much like that, and it shouldn't be. The bone of their shoulder should stick out a little bit.
Right. He did a quick edit of the Morgan's face in the Star Stable chat.
Oh no. I can't look, but
No, it's oh my god, that looks so much better.
Oh wait, okay, I want to do
just
it.
That simple. Oh my god!
Oh
just
wow!
That...
Holy. Okay. I'm gonna grab this and pop it into Clip Studio. Okay, hang on, guys.
I was gonna say the horse's face bugged me. I'm like, I don't think I can do this horse, man.
Yeah. All right.
This horse is terrifying.
So the image that you guys are seeing now is the one that Batsy just edited, and the image that I'm tossing into Clip Studio right now.
Oh, Batsy didn't edit. Oh, Batsy didn't edit.
Who did?
They found it.
I didn't do shit.
Okay.
Where did you find it?
Somebody found it. Okay.
Somebody found it. Okay. So on the
before.
Yeah, this is the one that so this is the game on the left, and this is the edit on the right. And
so much better.
Yeah. So like if I'm doing my holy wow, that's wide.
Now if they made the
Courtney.
muzzle bigger, then the ass one looks.
So Courtney, you're the one that actually edited it?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
All right. I mean, that's so...
Great job. That looks so much better.
Yeah, it does. Wow.
Moved the eyes and I didn't adjust the jaw at all.
See, that's perfect. Like, why? Why?
So I'm gonna map this out.
Oh, Courtney, you edited it. Okay, I'm a silly Billy.
So it's not even that big of a difference.
I know.
Like look at it on. Okay, so if I drop a ruler down here, I'm gonna drop a couple rulers in, and then I'll like grab the line segments and pop them on another layer. So there's this one, and then there's wrong. There we go. I hate when Clip Studio grabs your cursor and it's like, obey.
Yeah.
All right.
How's
So now
that?
I'm gonna turn all this off. Everything off. Holy, okay. That's a really big difference when you actually think about it. Like, all right, I'm gonna grab.
Here, I was about to say, color the other one green, and then lay it over top of the original.
Yep, and I'm gonna.
So we can see.
Not what I wanted.
Whoa, wait a minute.
No, not move layer. I want to move. Give me you.
You gotta use your.
Oh my god.
Oh my.
So yeah, all right. So
That's a pretty significant difference.
The red one is the one that's the in-game edit, or the in-game one, and the purple one's the edit.
Gee Willikers, Batman.
Like in theory, that's not that big of a distance. But
that's
man,
like
does that make a difference?
That's like so comparing it to like the photos we have, that's like the size of the horse's eye difference.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like that's pretty big.
Yeah. Oh boy. All right, I'm gonna get rid of these.
They had too many eye wisps in there.
Yeah.
Because you know how people do the whole like, your eyes are supposed to be like so many eye wisps apart. Well, they put one too many eye wisps in there.
All right.
Actually, it was an oval. They put an oval. It's like, what do you mean an eye isn't an oval?
They put a hole.
All right, just for the sake of this, I'm going to merge those together. Okay. Now we're on the hindquarters. To me, look fine. Like the gaskin is pretty well defined. Like,
I will say this is the first one that I don't have a complaint about the hind end, which is really weird for me.
Except in movement. In movement, it's not fantastic.
In movement, it's not that great.
I'm not even going to say anything about the long back because Morgans have long backs. Like,
yeah, they do.
That looks fine.
But the shoot, what is it? The loin length is actually short, which is nice.
Right. Yep. So
that makes for a strong back from the hip to where that point, the high point is on the hindquarters there.
Right. Which I'll show everybody that. So like, okay, so technically this is the withers, this little section. So then this would be the back ends at about where the rib cage ends, right?
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
So
from the point of the hip to that high point on the hind end is the loin length, and that's like what determines a horse's back strength.
Yep. So we've got, and I'll do this a little bit. This is your withers in there. This is your back. This is your loin, and this is your croup. And then this part of the tail here is your dock.
Actually, that's the butt.
Good job, Larry.
Thank you.
And then up at the top of the neck here is your crest. Which, okay, so when I drew this out, I actually I have the crest. I actually upped the crest a little bit because I went to the very top. Like, I ignored the mane and I was like, this is going to be our crest now. So Morgans are very cresty in general. So what I would have done is make the neck more cresty and then put mane on top of this. Yeah,
and then we'd have beefcake horse.
Right, because this looks pretty good with the crest like that, and then you take it away and it's like, this is weak. Like, it feels like this is weak right here. Like they could break.
Which
are we still on stream?
We are.
Oh my! You better be recording this is full of tea.
Fun fact: if you guys don't know for confirmation, Emma, I'm sure you know this. so you can correct me if I'm wrong, because it's been a minute since I've been in college.
Sure.
So where the horses, where the horses part of the spot, the neck, okay, where the bones of the neck meet the shoulder, how far up or how far down determines a bull neck. So this horse has a bull neck because the bones of the neck join into the shoulder lower, like farther than halfway. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. I can't remember ever learning that. I don't know, like.
See, I remember because I like bull-necked horses.
Mm-hmm.
No, I like thick-neck horses.
So let's take the actual, like, now that we've gotten this kind of, I'll go in and block out the rest of the legs just so that I have something that I can like remove and put back into place. Because I want to kind of put this next to, like, what we've created next to what actually is going to exist in game.
We're just in
case anybody from Star Stable ever ends up happening to see this isn't like a, oh my god, I could do this so much better. I can't 3D model for shit. Like, you guys are way better than I will ever be, and I will give you, like, you know, I'll give credit to whoever deserves it, honestly, because it's hard. 3D modeling is hard.
Like, overall,
and
these are
horses
still
the
better
hardest to
than.
draw.
Oh, sorry.
No, you can go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, overall, criticisms aside, as valid as they are, overall, these are still like an upgrade from the old Morgans.
100%.
Yeah, but to be fair to me, the old models in this game is a low bar to upgrade.
Yes,
that's true. I mean, they haven't been upgraded to, like.
Yeah, it's been
technically. Wait, aren't those? I mean, I know there's already divided up into generations, but technically, I consider the first base model of a breed Generation 1. So technically, this is Generation 2 Morgan. If you go by, you know, how many models they've done of that breed.
Yeah. So already, like, looking at what we were working on, Courtney. Courtney, no. Courtney, no.
What'd you do?
Oh, Courtney, no.
Courtney.
Did you cycle
what
up
did you do?
Courtney, no.
You're welcome. Please thank you.
Oh, no.
No bitches?
Okay.
No bitches.
So I also, what I kind of did in here, because when we bumped the shoulder back, I actually pushed it back further. Like, I'll kind of go in with, I'll do another layer in red. Instead of, because it doesn't end where my dotted line is up here is where the shoulder was on the original. So it was also like, this is where it was on the original. I kind of pushed it back this way, just a touch.
That
so
shoulder
then you
is
have
kind of
this.
forward.
Yeah. So then you have like this almost like collar shape. Like that's kind of your like collar shape that you have in the shoulder here. Yeah.
I'm laughing at me.
Oh
I love liquefied too.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Way too much fun with
Yes.
Oh no.
Yes.
I just slapped the liquefied tool and made it large.
To the one person still watching our stream, I hope you're enjoying this content.
No bitch.
No bitches.
No bitches.
Oh man.
I really like I got a lot of the feedback from it, whereas I'm sure you guys have already talked about it, but like a lot of people from my side did not like it, so I think it's not going to be too popular of a release, honestly.
So then, okay, so looking at what we actually changed, we made it crestier.
Cresty.
We changed the tie-in of the neck to head, and the neck to shoulder. Shoulder, blah. And then we changed shoulder position.
As we write this down, I did definitely notice that that the spoiler definitely seems to be divisive. I said this earlier, but again, it seems like so far these first impressions are either people love it or they hate it.
Yeah.
So it's polarizing.
Yeah, and then we also changed the eye position. So we set this back further. And if we were doing it from the front, then we would have actually made them closer together.
Is more froggy eyes?
Is it just me? And I feel like Ashley and Courtney, you guys are probably the ones to look at this and know.
What's up?
The pastern angle. Is it too high? Because like ideal is 45, which like no horse has an ideal pastern. Let's be real.
It is high, but it depends on the reference photos that they were going off. The pasterns are going to be the angle that the hooves are cut.
Okay, yeah.
So like for example, in Spanish horses, like your PREs and whatever, for some reason they like to cut the toes short on the hind end to where the higher, and it's really weird.
Okay. And then thoroughbreds are the exact opposite, where they cut things long, therefore the toes
heels are down.
Yep, heels down, toes long. Yep. And then just for the sake of slapping a tail in here, I'm gonna put a tail in here.
I'll give them credit too that at least they didn't make the hind leg too straight. Like I know I've had issues with past horses. I can't pull in from memory right now, but from the game, I've had issues with them making the hind leg too straight because it's like, are you trying to make them lock stifles or what?
Right. Okay. One of the other things I guess I'm looking at too, and I'll delete this layer and I'll try a new one. Morgans have fairly high set tails.
Yeah.
And
I mean, looking at the height of that rump, it's kind of high. Pretty high.
Yeah, like it's decently set as far as like, but I almost wonder if making it the inverse angle of the withers and then dropping it down, like if that would have had. And of course they're not gonna do, maybe not, no, probably not. It was good where it was.
Well, let me see if I can control the screen. I'll show you in the chat here. So I'll show you the Morgan I'm currently looking at here.
Yeah.
Excuse my
just gonna give it a
screen,
bang
but
tail.
see how the tail is like it kind of it does curve up.
Oh yeah. Yep, there's like a bump.
And that one has this one is kind of similar in so yes. I mean, as far as like head to neck to body, like thinness, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the only thing there is like we've been talking about is that particular one is really upright.
Yes.
And like I guess I kind of would have liked to see, I'd like to have either seen them go with the massively upright, like showy kind of horse.
Yeah.
Or go all in on the like bulldog type, like the heavy type Morgan.
Oh, like the Lippet Morgan. Like gimme.
Yes. And I feel like we got something that's kind of in between. So then here, if I was gonna, in theory, give it a forelock, even like, I don't know. I don't know. There's a lot that we've changed on this horse, but they're not like major changes either.
Mm-hmm.
They're just kind of like shifting things around.
Let's see if I can find a good. You know, I'm honestly surprised. There's so many more. I'm seeing some with some of a straight profile. I'm honestly surprised they didn't with the face.
Yeah.
Like just a little. Like they went pretty. I don't know. You scroll up a minute. I can't see the game horse, but
you want game horse?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm honestly surprised they went so straight because Morgans have a very slight dish in their heads.
Yeah.
I think my main issue with it is that I don't know, it almost looks like more of a Spanish horse than
it kind of do.
Well, and I think the reason why is because again, like you mentioned, Emma, is that they were giving us something between the Lippet and the thinner Morgan, because the Lippet does look like a Spanish horse.
Right.
I'm trying to find a good photo.
Yeah,
I really should pull up Amelia's page because the one she used for Heritage to reference, he had a neck.
I like how this became an art stream. I'm
really
enjoying
did.
It's your art stream now.
I think that there was just so many small-ish things that wanted to change on it that it looks entirely different.
Wait, what? So I just clicked on this photo and there's a question that says Morgans are Spanish ?
Oh God.
What? I might have to look at this.
That's interesting information.
Did Betsy fall asleep?
No, I'm still here. I'm still here. I was talking to my commission client. You like sketches, so I'm gonna start moving into the lines.
Ooh.
Heck yeah.
Later.
Let's see.
Not tonight. I need to go back. But I
go back.
10.
But yeah, I don't know. I feel like they should move the eyes slightly closer together. I think anything closer together than what they are right now will look so much better.
Agreed.
But
Okay, so I will put in the chat here. This is a Lippet Morgan and Beefcake.
Ooh, okay. Let me pull that into
That horse looks like it's been content aware scaled.
So yeah, there's your Lippet Morgan, and then I'll pull the let's see. I swear somewhere we had. Do you have just that photo that you sent a screenshot? But do you have just that photo that you could drop me?
No, it won't let me. It's a license.
Oh no.
So here, hold on. Let me visit this page and pull this up because this one, it has very much the. Where is it? Okay, so here's another skinny Morgan.
Okay.
Is it? Come on, give me a better picture than that.
Also, I'm glad for everybody that's still watching this. I'm glad you're having a good time.
Yes.
It's definitely really interesting.
It's honestly, it's so fun to go. I don't get to go like full horse very often. So this is Okay, so there's your skinny Morgan. It's not. I couldn't get a big picture. Yeah, so that's your noodle.
I liked the photo
Morgan
that Courtney sent too, but I wanted like another a side view comparison for everybody watching.
That's your typical show Morgan, and
then so show Morgan's on the right, Lippet Morgan, which is your big heck and chonker, is on the left.
And fun fact, the Lippet Morgan is closer to horse.
You cut out for a second. Closer.
Sorry, the Lippet Morgan is closer to the original Justin Morgan.
Okay.
Started the breed.
Yep. Because what did they start crossing with? Arabs?
I think so.
That's what a lot of
Yeah,
horse breeds
figure.
did. Yeah.
Yes. Let's see. Although, so the original, so Justin Morgan, they didn't know his actual lineage, so it was thought to be of Dutch thoroughbred or Arabian.
Okay.
So then over the years, it's just kind of thinned him out.
Yeah, I think now
I'm
that we've
sorry about
kind
the
of
cutout. The cat
no,
was
you're
rubbing against
good. I think as far as I'm gonna go ahead and put this back up to full brightness of our game, Morgan, is I think the thing that now that I'm looking at this again that is majorly bothering me about the in-game Morgan is it's almost like they forgot that horses have throats. Because
horses have what? Say again?
Like a throat, that they have a throat.
Yes.
Because
yeah.
This, like, it's inversed.
That horse wouldn't be able to breathe.
Like you should actually be coming down and like almost bending outward, like curving outward instead of inward.
Right.
Which is then because your basic neck shape is a triangle.
Right.
But
see, the head should have been scooched up, and then they would have added the throat latch because you see how how you just drew this. Yeah, see if the head was joined up farther, like up, then they would have had room to add the throat latch.
Right. Because like in theory, like where I drew this line on the neck here, that's where your ear should be. Is there? Like the jaw should line up. So if everything's supposed to line up with the back of the jaw, that's where your current jaw is. Or like right here. So the neck should be out further. Which that would make sense because then your ear is all the way back here. Yeah.
So yeah, it just looks like the head got put up.
Yeah, it's funky. It's definitely funky.
Like the Clydesdale, huh?
Oh man.
Hey, Emma, you should totally turn this into a sticker.
You know what? I mean, I feel like I could.
Yes, you've already. Hey, you've got it drawn this long. Why not?
Yeah, I mean, I've gotten okay. So just because basically all I did was use this as a pose reference at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is definitely a step in the right direction for the Morgans. I mean, really everything we changed is in the front half.
Yep.
Actually not even the front half, the front third. So they got 2/3 of the horse right.
Hey, points for that.
Yeah.
You.
Oh, Katie, I wonder if they didn't do the show type because they want to add saddlebreds soon. The show type Morgans have that stretch you showed. It can give saddlebred vibes. I will give you that 100%. Like, they might be really gunning to do saddlebreds, and thus, maybe the saddlebreds are the only ones that get to park out like that. That's true. A good point. Because if they want to make everything unique, saddlebreds are definitely the horses that you think of when it comes to the parking out.
One other thing too that I'm noticing at the with the head, in all honesty, is it just me? But like looking at the head that they have, I think quarter horse, not Morgan. Is that just me?
Really bulky head.
It's really bulky.
Yeah.
Let me
it makes me think stock horse, like not like maybe like Australian stock horse.
I'm gonna make a copy of this layer, and I'm gonna put it on the top, and I'm gonna let's isolate some things. Let's take things away. So
nothing like cutting apart a horse.
Yeah. So we want just the head.
Yeah.
All right, I'll move it down here.
Yeah, see, I'm seeing quarter horse. When I look at that, that makes me think like halter quarter horse.
Yeah, yes, halter especially, because from this, and it's probably just this angle, but the eyes look really tiny.
Yeah, and then the jaw very huge.
Yeah, because this whole head it's so boxy.
Mm-hmm.
There's no like I know, and I've kind of actually given my guy here a slightly Roman profile. Like it's pretty straight but slightly Roman.
Right.
This is just a straight line.
Well, one thing I think that technically confirmation wise, so okay, so you know how you tell the angle of a
Oh, you're cutting out.
nasal bone? Goddamn. You know how so there's a way to tell the angle of a horse's face without actually looking at its, bridge of the nose. If you draw a line from the base of the ear to the corner of the eye, down the jaw line, like down the cheekbone, that tells you the angle of their face. By that horse should be Roman nosed, but he's not.
Okay, run that by me again and I'll do it.
Okay, so from the base of the ear to the corner of the eye and down the cheekbone.
Okay, hang on. So wait, because this is throwing me from the base of the ear to the corner of the eye.
Corner of the eye, and now go down the cheekbone like a tear falling. See? That should be So that horse should have a Roman.
Ooh.
But he doesn't. If you look at Arabians.
Right. Arabs are the inverse. Yes. Like Arabs would be like from here and then like that. Yeah?
Yes. So that's a fun confirmation tip. That's how you can tell if a horse has a Roman or a dish face.
Very nice.
Interesting.
Yes. It also
I love things like that.
It also feels like, and I know I did like a really quick edit here as far as all I did was tilt the head up a little bit more, go back there, and like this would be your area for a throat latch, and thus it would give it a thicker neck. Does it feel to anyone else as if the face is like really, really overly rendered and the rest of the body is not?
A little bit, yeah.
Because like I love how they rendered the face. This is super pretty.
And I think though the reason why the body wasn't rendered, because again, like we mentioned before, I think they were going for that rounder Morgan, like the heavier Morgan.
The heavier Morgan. Mm-hmm.
Yes, like I said, he's fat. Without his belly actually being fat, his neck.
Right, and you can actually see, horse. And maybe this is just me, but you can actually see the wrinkles going up.
Yeah, you can.
But that would really also explain
the lack of. Well, that would also explain the lack of definition too, if they were going off a heavier horse,
something chunkier. Yeah, I mean, because even if you look at like look at some different like model horse molds, I mean, Spellbound doesn't have a whole lot of definition, but he's got all the wrinkles in his neck. Troubadour has like no definition except the wrinkles in his neck. And that's a really good example of a Morgan as well.
True. Honestly, if they had done one like Troubadour, it would have been. And also, Troubadour is another example of one with a dish.
Yeah, he does have a slight dish, doesn't he? I'm gonna pull up Troubadour Briar, because they definitely
it's really... Okay.
Yeah, they definitely did some funky stuff with the head on this. It's not quite right. Oh, he does.
As you get that age, I admit that the big sleep is hitting me, so I'm gonna hop off now. Very fun stream. Thank you for having me.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
I think I am also going to pop off because I am super sleepy as well.
Good night, Lori.
Bye, everyone.
Okay, and another example of dish.
Yep.
And thick.
And then if you follow, and also if you follow that line here, corner of the eye, down the cheekbone.
Oh, hang on.
I know it's hard to see because that darn.
Yeah, it's so slight.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. But I mean, big cheek.
Yep.
A little bit dished. Big. But see, this is a big, like, Troubadour has a big head.
He does. But, like, but his head's equal to his neck length, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it seems big, but it's not in context. And actually, I drew his shoulder in the wrong spot. His shoulder's coming from here.
Which, one thing that's interesting, well, yeah, and we're also looking at the side that has dropped back, too, so...
Right. Yeah. I purposefully grabbed the side without the mane because I was like, I want to see where the actual crest.
But yeah, see, that's one thing, too, that because of where they attach the head, the crest is hooked up to the head as in-game horse. And
there's Thurlatch. And again, we have a case of like shoulders that are relatively big and hindquarters that feel relatively small. That just seems to be a Morgan thing.
Yeah.
So one thing I did notice with this though was the ear shape. There's absolutely no definition in the ears. Like they're like teardrops barely, and that's it. But with the Arabians and the Marwaris, they have really nice defined ears. With the Marwaris, you can have to. But they didn't do that with Morgans. But Morgans have those really nicely curved, defined ears that you can see.
Right.
And I think that's another thing about them that made me think halter horse, like quarter horse, because they have tiny.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe looking at the illustrations that you sent, Courtney, versus the in-game horse is, I definitely like, okay, the ears on a Morgan are somewhat small, but I still feel like they're not that small.
No.
Yeah.
And also too, you can see, so like in the illustration you're looking, if you look at where the end of the forelock touches, so right there is where they hooked the in-game horse's head. Like, or well, not where the forelock is. God, it's hard to.
I know this.
Right
it all
where the
blends
bend
in
in the
right
neck is.
Yeah.
Okay, so right where the bend in the neck, right where the throat latch is, actually, right where it joins the actual neck. That's where they hooked up the head.
Right.
There's like a section of that neck.
Yeah, like there's in the in-game horse, there's a whole section of neck that's missing. Because ideally, even in these ones, is like you should be able to draw a line straight up from the shoulder to the neck. Because like when I start drawing, I start at the shoulder and I draw like this shape, right? And then I go, okay, so straight up would be like most of the neck, and then you have a curve, and I just extend that curve out because at the top of that curve is going to be your head. And then you connect these two pieces with this little section. Yeah. But yeah.
Well, like, and again, with the way that the crest is hooked up on that horse, it just, I think it kind of makes me think of, like first time model horse when they try to do a thick neck.
Yeah.
They forget that the crest, when it joins up into the head at the top of the neck, is actually quite flat. And then it rounds out towards the middle and bottom.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
I mean, you see that on Troubadour as well.
Right. Like, you have to follow this curve of the neck all the way through past the ears. It's got to go all the way. It's got to go through the ears. Because that whole thing is going to lead you right down into your forehead. Yeah.
I think this is the first horse that we've criticized death. Like,
it
where
really
we've just gone through and edited everything.
And I don't think I did think about doing this with the Frisian when the Frisian came out. I did actually think about doing a video like this. And I just never had the time to do it. Because I at one point I did pull the Frisian into Clip Studio and I started messing around like this. And again, for anybody watching, like this is a more like in theory thing from a conformational standpoint, as opposed to Star Stable's really bad like at their horses, because they're not. They've produced some really good horses, and we changed a minimal amount of things. But to me, what we came up with looks more Morgan than what we're getting in the game. And definitely more Lippet Morgan though. Like just be it based on how like thick this is.
I love it though.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I need my Lippet Morgans, dang it.
And I even
I swear.
Oh, go ahead.
I swear they better have so I've noticed it, and this isn't me trying to be like, oh, I'm being targeted.
Yeah.
It just seems like all of my favorite horse get the short end of the stick.
Oh, I know,
like
right?
You personally. So I'm like, I swear to God, if they rip the Lipizans.
Oh yeah. I'm so concerned about the Lipizans, honestly. All right, so I'm going to.
The pull apart would be the nabs.
Oh, they did the nabs so dirty.
Oh, they did.
They did the nabs so dirty. That was my major disappointment. Was the nabs.
I think
I was devastated.
Which breed was it? Do you remember how I said that Star Stable had an issue? You know, that their heads being too small compared to like the necks, like compared to how they should be. So, like, I'll give you an example. Illusion, for example, the head is way too small.
Yes.
Same thing. The Lusitano's not as bad, but the Andy's definitely good. But which horse breed was it that finally broke that?
That's a good question.
Because that was one thing that I kept watching for. For some reason, I spaced out at some point.
Right.
I want to say it was
nicer, Emma.
Yeah. I want to say it was the Appaloosas, I think. Because when they finally shortened the neck and the head, it was weird. It was like they couldn't fathom a horse having a larger head.
Yeah.
Like there was this barrier. It was very strange.
And I mean, the Appies don't exactly have like huge heads either. But they're proportionate.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to there. That's what I was missing.
There we go. That's better.
There he is. Upright. Which,
there we go.
Because of this head position, I then had to change the shoulder position to make this more upright instead of because we had it like that way.
Honestly, if they just lengthened the darn neck, he would look so much better because because like again, you know, where the shoulder rounds out, where the point of the shoulder should be on the game horse, those withers should be much higher than they are.
Yeah,
like further up the neck. I mean.
So I'm gonna add
just based off the shoulder.
I'm gonna add that little dish that we were talking about.
There we go.
Because as much as I like the straight profile ones, you know, it's like we kind of want to experiment.
Yeah, I like the straight profiles. Which
that's just
too.
A little bit too.
There we go, just a little. And I think maybe that's what they got confused because I struggle with for a while there at certain views of a horse, where that little divot is right in front of the that you just added. I used to confuse that with the eye itself being up there.
Oh yeah, because actually it should almost even be a little bit further down, like because this is the eye ridge, like this right here is like part of the eye ridge, but then like it's actually like in here somewhere, like the actual bridge of their nose.
Yeah,
it's being funky for me.
But yeah, that was so.
I'll give you your face
so I could
back.
See maybe that was something that tripped them up with this Morgan, you know.
Yeah, and then some horses have like foreheads that bump way out. Like Arabs have foreheads that, like, there's actually a term for that. There's like an Arabic term for that it's actually desirable in mares for their foreheads to bump out.
That's interesting.
So that like this kind of shape that you see, this is like really bad. This right there. There's a name for that in Arabic.
So basically, they forever look like foals, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's at one point that was like a desirable trait, and I can't remember if it's called the like there's like the midba and the jibba and like hang on, I'll see if I can there's at one point I knew because I think there's like 3 of them. It is the jibba. It's Jibbah. Many Arabs also have a slight forehead bulge between their eyes called the jibba by the Bedouin that adds additional sinus capacity. So their forehead bulges just slightly, and it actually allows them. They have more space for their sinuses.
That's interesting. I wonder if that. I would hope that isn't what made people think that they could shrink their nose, like where the dish is.
I think that's kind of like it's probably part of it, because by default, when you make the forehead bigger, it looks like there's more of a pronounced dish. Mm-hmm. So like here's a really good like diagram picture that I found. Which is also, that's what you were talking about, the base of the ear. Now I see it. The base of the ear, the cheekbone.
Yes, but yeah, see how that makes that upward curve? So that's how you dish.
Yep. So that would be, and I'll draw that on our Mr. Morgan friend again. Now that I see where that is fully, is like there. Or even a little bit further up, like there. Like, yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There it is.
There it is. Yay.
But yeah, because like I've always tried to think of it as if you were how do I put this? Like, when you're playing what's the freaking pinball?
Uh-huh.
And the ball goes from the ear, it hits the bone and then bounces whichever direction the cheekbone is going.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? It makes the angle of what the face is. So that's something like I always tried to start incorporating into my own art. Like was depicting a horse that had a dish, I made sure that cheek angled the correct way.
Yeah. A little off topic, but I just happened to check Facebook, and Summer Prosser is actually the one that did the design for Wells.
Ooh.
So this is not a Heather horse.
Honestly, now that I know that, I see it now because her grays.
And also, and I didn't see this before, is look at the edges on the feathering. It's very she has that very like choppy look to her markings that almost makes it look like there's hair, like herring. Very nice. It's very cool. Yeah, so there's our adjusted Morgan. Adjusted Morgan, not just like, haha, Justin Morgan, adjusted. I'm funny.
Morgan.
Well,
you know what? Now that you've got both headsets, you should definitely. Oh, God. Sorry about that. I was going to say real fast. Now that you have both those headsets, you should make an animation.
Oh, God.
Hey, you've already got both frames. You don't need to make.
Oh, I know. The last time I did a horse head toss animation, it was lava shaking a rubber chicken.
Oh my God.
And that was last year around this time, maybe September-ish that I did that with lava shaking rubber chicken.
But what was it? What was it that you said, Mackenzie? I didn't hear you.
Courtney, please.
Yes,
Courtney.
What I do?
You were saying something, maybe?
You were saying something when I mentioned about the head up and down, and I didn't hear you.
The headset, I think, is also a huge part of our issue with this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's not a typical Morgan headset.
No.
Again, it's very low. It's very stock.
Yeah, just turning this on and off. The one with the higher headset looks more Morgan to me.
I agree.
And I almost wonder, like, if you take it one step further, and I'm not necessarily going to do anything to the front legs, but I almost kind of wonder.
Extend the back leg.
Yeah, like if you kind of, because you can kind of, starting at the knee up there. This is, I probably should have made a copy of a copy, but the only thing that's different is going to be the head. So there's the, I don't know if that actually did anything or not.
Are you trying to do it?
I'm trying to kind of, because I know there's only so much you can do without like tweaking the entire thing.
I was gonna say you'd want to go behind the elbow and lower the back.
Yeah. Because like that's kind of, and then you'd actually tilt.
Yep.
I turned off my ruler. Then you'd tilt these forward again.
Yeah,
that's even nice, like way more slight, like.
Yeah.
Yeah, here's our other horse and his leggies. Yeah, just slightly.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Just enough. So if I actually went back and blocked this in, just so that we got a little bit more of a visual. There's our gaskin right there. Going up. Because then this this part would stretch right here. This is what stretches.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, and maybe that wouldn't be so pronounced because it's stretching back.
Horse building with
horse building, yay! Because then if I were really like exaggerating this and doing like something more cartoony like I normally do, is I would like I don't know if I would bow this out because it's technically going like that. Like it is, but it isn't.
I wouldn't bow it out. I would just instead of rotating the pasterns, I would, because sometimes horses do that when they go out to get on their toes on the hind neck.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because this is like.
And then again, also if you lower the back itself, then like angle it downwards, it would definitely show it.
Yep. So like if I come in here.
Yeah, and that booty. Well, actually, if you just cut behind the elbow, like right where you've got your line from the elbow to the waist, and just angle the whole back down, because the rib cage is going to come down too.
Right. So if I go, wait for my computer to catch up.
Yeah, it's gotta move. It's like move all this stuff.
Yeah, because I've selected the whole folder. Come on, go.
Yeah, mainly the butt's gonna be lower.
Right. I'm lining up the I'm trying to line up my shoulder with my chest there.
There you go.
Almost. A little bit. There.
There we go.
Okay. Yep. So now.
And now they'll bend more at the stifle and extend the hook.
Yep. Okay. So I'm gonna. No, like this is the stuff that I do all the time. Like when I actually have a reference photo, like I'll grab a reference photo and I'll chop it to pieces.
Yeah.
And I'll play around with it. Yeah. Like and because there's only a couple people on stream, I can tell you guys some like secrets. Is which Ashley and Courtney, you guys know what the next sticker club theme is. And I actually, for those that are on our newsletter, I did put that in the newsletter as well, what the next sticker club theme is. So the heroes and villains, and my first one is like a Superman type. And so I had like, you got to do the Superman pose, where they've got the one arm out and the one arm tucked to the chest, And the pose that I actually used for that particular horse is like, I Frankensteined it. I took 2 different reference photos. I took the back end of one and the front end of the other, and I mashed those together. All right, let's see. So here's our stifle. We are stretching. Zoom. Which, like, you could definitely exaggerate this way more.
Oh yeah.
Like, I feel like you'd actually have to.
Yep.
Because,
I'm
only gonna take it.
I would probably.
Oh yeah, I'll grab.
Actually, exaggerate it on the, not completely on their toes, but the heel would be off the ground.
Because like this whole section, you could actually take all of this and go yeet, move it back.
Well, yeah, I was about to say you could probably go in front of the stifle and just rotate the entire hindquarters out.
Let's try that and see what it looks like.
There we go. Just a little.
But then it's like, because it kind of gives you the impression, because it's further away, that those feet are lower.
Mm-hmm.
Because then, in theory, right
you're gonna
here,
want your back drop again.
Right. So, like, your line of the back is going to come.
There we go. Yeah.
This way.
We're like Tennessee walking, parking out right now.
Yes.
And I say that because I'm thinking of, God, I forget the name. Starts with an L. So customs on the south.
Oh.
She'd always make them super parked out like this.
Yeah.
Like, let me look this up on.
Let's see. I'm gonna yoink this. And I'm gonna get rid of this folder. And then copy this folder again. And just slip you in there.
Say, like, does it bother anybody else? I mean, I guess choice and whatnot. Bother anybody else, like, seeing so many of those hands being customized into a saddlebred that's moving a lot more extreme with the weighted shoes on the front feet?
Which mold?
Hamilton.
Not really. I mean, like, I like.
And when I say exaggerated, I'm talking like what you'd see in abusive cases.
Oh,
basically.
yes. No, I don't care for that.
And I can't believe they're actually like putting the shoes and stuff on them too, like in the models. I'm like, why would you do that?
That's in such bad taste. It really is.
Yeah. There's a couple customizers I follow that are doing that, and then
I've only seen the one, and I'm not going to say who it's by because I don't feel like calling people out.
Right.
But yeah, I've only seen the one, and it's definitely like, I don't like it. being like, even though it's a well done custom, I don't think it's a thing that should exist.
Right.
Yeah. That's the caveat that you find with a lot of this stuff is like, it can be really, really artfully done, but that doesn't mean you should have made it.
Right. And
yeah.
I don't know. It's like we're trying to get away from
exactly.
And you're bringing it into models. It's already bad enough.
Yeah.
To have it in real life. I mean, I guess a model, the real horse isn't getting it, but still.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and end stream here. I hope this was fun for everybody that stayed watching. Because I know we had fun. So I hope this was fun for everybody else. You may eventually see this horse as a sticker somewhere down the line. and you'll know where it came from.
Be like, oh yeah, there he is.
The boy. Yeah, this was fun. We probably will do this at some point eventually. Maybe again, if there's another horse breed that Star Stable puts out that makes us like feel things.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right, everybody. Good night, stream.
Good night, stream. Thanks for sticking around.